The snake is back, but this time, it's not just a monster. It's a movie inside a movie, a comedy inside a horror, and maybe the weirdest, wildest Christmas release of 2025. This is the story of the upcoming Anaconda film, and why it might just be Hollywood's boldest remake yet. Welcome back to the channel, your ultimate source for Hollywood deep dives, movie breakdowns, and the juiciest behind-the-scenes stories. And today, oh boy, we are venturing deep into the jungle. That's right, the infamous Anaconda franchise is back, reimagined for a new generation, and starring none other than Jack Black and Paul Rudd. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, Anaconda? The giant snake movie from the 90s? The one with Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube, and Jon Voight chewing the scenery harder than the snake itself? Yes, that one. That cult classic disaster-turned-gem of the VHS era is slithering its way back into theaters this Christmas. But here's the twist. This isn't just a remake. It's not even a reboot in the traditional sense. This new Anaconda is a meta-horror comedy. It's self-aware, it's outrageous, and it's promising to be both scarier and funnier than the original. Imagine a film that's part creature feature, part satire, part buddy comedy, and part Hollywood meltdown, all wrapped in jungle vines and snake scales. So, grab your machete and bug spray, because we're about to dive into everything you need to know about the upcoming Anaconda. The cast, the plot, the bizarre creative choices, the filming secrets, and why this could be one of the most unexpectedly brilliant or hilariously disastrous movies of 2025. Let's rewind to the origins. The original Anaconda slithered onto screens in 1997. Critics tore it apart, audiences laughed at it, but it made money. Lots of it. Over $136 million worldwide. It became one of those movies that was so bad it was good, fueled by campy acting, a dodgy CGI snake, and one of the weirdest death scenes ever when Jon Voight gets regurgitated by the Anaconda and still manages to wink at the camera. That movie spawned sequels, spin-offs, and even a crossover with Lake Placid. None of them reached the cult heights of the first film, but the legacy was there. Anaconda became the guilty pleasure monster flick of the late 90s and early 2000s. Fast forward to today. Hollywood is knee-deep in reboots and remakes. But when the announcement came that Sony was reviving Anaconda, fans assumed it would be another gritty, serious monster movie. Instead, we got something completely different. A film that laughs at itself, leans into the absurdity, and makes the snake as much of a punchline as it is a predator. So what's the plot this time? Here's where it gets juicy. In this 2025 version, Jack Black and Paul Rudd play lifelong friends going through a midlife crisis. To cope, they decide to remake their favorite childhood film, Anaconda. Yes, they are literally trying to make Anaconda inside of Anaconda. It's a movie within a movie. Think of it like Tropic Thunder colliding with Jurassic Park. At first, it's all fun and games. They've got their cameras, their script, their goofy enthusiasm. They're parodying the cheesy tropes of the original. But then, things go horribly wrong. Because in their quest to film a fake snake movie, they stumble into a real jungle with a real giant anaconda. Suddenly, what started as a comedy becomes a fight for survival, with a mix of slapstick humor, satirical digs at Hollywood, and genuine horror when the snake strikes. Jack Black himself described it as a horror movie, for real, but way funnier than the original. Paul Rudd called it comedy wrapped in scales. And honestly, that's exactly the chaotic energy this project is giving off. Let's talk cast, because this is where things get even spicier. Of course, Jack Black and Paul Rudd are leading the charge. Jack Black brings his trademark manic energy, while Rudd plays the straight man, the guy trying to hold things together while chaos explodes around him. Their chemistry has already been compared to classic buddy comedy duos. But they're not alone. Thandai Newton has joined the cast, bringing dramatic gravitas and a much-needed balance to all the absurdity. Daniela Melchior, breakout star from the Suicide Squad and Fast X, plays a fearless jungle guide. And if rumors are true, we might even see surprise cameos, maybe even a nod to Jennifer Lopez or Ice Cube from the original. Imagine the crowd reaction if J.Lo suddenly shows up wielding a shotgun. Behind the camera, director Tom Gormican, best known for the unbearable weight of massive talent with Nicolas Cage, is steering the ship. That movie was a meta-satire masterpiece, blending comedy and action while poking fun at Hollywood itself. So if anyone can pull off a self-aware Anaconda movie, it's him. Now, let's get into the filming. While the movie is set in the Amazon, it was actually filmed on the Gold Coast of Australia. The lush rainforest there doubled for the dangerous South American jungle. Fun fact, locals spotted massive sets built with fake vines, swamps, and giant snake models, which only fueled speculation that some of the snake action would use practical effects instead of just CGI. And speaking of the snake, let's talk about the monster. One of the biggest complaints about the '97 original was the bad CGI. This time, the filmmakers are promising a mix of practical effects and cutting-edge digital work. That means we might finally get an Anaconda that's terrifying, realistic, and not unintentionally funny. But since this is also a comedy, don't expect them to take it too seriously. Word on the street is that the snake will have moments of almost cartoonish exaggeration, big enough to scare, but funny enough to make audiences laugh nervously in their seats. Now here's the million-dollar question. Why release this movie on Christmas Day? Simple. Counter-programming. While families are flocking to heartwarming holiday films and big superhero blockbusters, Anaconda is sliding in with a totally different vibe. Horror fans want something twisted for the holidays. Comedy fans want something irreverent, and cult movie lovers want something that feels like an inside joke. This film aims to be all of that. Plus, let's be real, what better Christmas gift than Jack Black being chased by a giant snake? Let's take a step back and think about what this film really represents. Hollywood has been obsessed with reboots, but this is different. This is a reboot that doesn't just revive an old story, it reinvents it. Instead of trying to make Anaconda serious and gritty, it leans into the chaos and says, yes, we know this franchise is ridiculous. Let's make it hilarious and scary at the same time. It's a gamble, but it might be the smartest gamble Hollywood has made in years. By embracing the camp, Anaconda 2025 could capture both fans of the original and new audiences who love meta-comedies like Deadpool or the Lego Movie. And remember, Jack Black and Paul Rudd are comedy gold. Audiences love them. They're both universally likable, both capable of carrying a movie, and both willing to poke fun at themselves. If this movie works, it won't just be because of the snake. It'll be because of them. But here's the real question. Will it be scary? The answer is yes and no. The filmmakers are walking a tightrope. They want real scares, moments where the snake feels menacing, where the jungle feels oppressive, where survival feels uncertain. But they also want laughs, absurd slapstick gags, fourth-wall-breaking humor, and jokes at the expense of the original movie. The result could be the best of both worlds, a horror comedy that actually delivers on both promises. Think Shaun of the Dead with zombies, but swap the zombies for a 40-foot snake. Of course, not everyone is convinced. Some fans of the original worry this will disrespect the '97 film. Others think the tone will be too silly. And let's be honest, horror comedy is hard to pull off. For every cabin in the woods, there are 10 flops that can't balance the scares and the jokes. But even the skeptics admit one thing. This movie has people talking. Whether you're excited or horrified, you're curious. And in Hollywood, curiosity is currency. So what's next? The trailer has already dropped, giving us glimpses of Jack Black screaming in the jungle, Paul Rudd trying to reason with a snake, and just enough footage of the monster to get fans buzzing. Reactions have been mixed but passionate, some calling it the dumbest idea ever, others calling it genius. And that's exactly the kind of hype a movie like this needs. The full release is set for December 25th, 2025. Mark your calendars, because whether this turns out to be a masterpiece or a train wreck, it's guaranteed to be entertaining. So what do you think? Are you ready for a new Anaconda? Do you want it to lean scary, lean funny, or be a chaotic mix of both? And would you actually go see a giant snake movie on Christmas Day? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit like, smash that subscribe button, and share this video with your fellow movie fans. Because in Hollywood, the jungle is always full of surprises, and sometimes the biggest one is a giant snake.